Seja bem-vinda, seja bem-vindo. Está no ar o Tô Conversando, o programa de entrevistas da Toco TV, onde a gente sempre traz alguém muito legal relacionado ao mundo do basquete. E o programa de hoje, muitas coisas novas. Nosso primeiro convidado gringo no Tô Conversando. Nosso primeiro veterano de NBA no Tô Conversando. E o que me alegra ainda muito mais, uma lenda do Orlando Magic no Tô Conversando. Eu sou Gustavo Menezes, estou aqui. E ao meu lado, e quem fez essa entrevista comigo, e vai dizer quem é o cara que será entrevistado, é ele, Rafael Cardone, o Firu. E aí, Firu? Beleza?
Fala, galera! Firmeza! Tô conversando na área. E que tô conversando especial com o convidado, ninguém mais, ninguém menos que Nick Anderson, ala do Orlando Magic, primeira escolha de draft da história da franquia e jogador que até hoje é uma lenda do Orlando, está associado ao Orlando até hoje. Queria já de cara já agradecer ao Orlando Magic, né? Que foram muito gentis com o nosso canal.
O Michael, a Marie, toda a galera do Orlando foi super sangue bom com a gente.
Dá um salve pra Agência Samba também, que ajudou a gente a conseguir esse tempo na agenda tribulada do Nick Anderson ali. Isso aqui, galera, já deixando bem claro, isso aqui é um episódio que a gente gravou lá na NBA House, durante as finais da NBA, né? Então isso aqui é meados de junho, lá pro dia 10 de junho.
O Nick Anderson veio representar o Magic aqui na NBA House, fez oficina, tal, atividades, e tirou um tempinho para conversar conosco. Queríamos agradecer o próprio Nick, né? Que foi... Vocês vão ver aí, o cara
Nick
foi sangue
Anderson,
bom
a esposa
demais.
dele, muito gentil também.
Então, foi muito legal. Outra coisa que eu queria dizer, eu não quero enrolar muito, mas essa entrevista foi feita antes da troca do Desmond Bane. Então, a gente não perguntou a ele sobre isso, claro, porque não tinha acontecido. E ele também não comentou sobre isso, mas você vê que a análise dele do futuro...
Ele dá uma palhinha de que...
Ele dá uma pista.
A gente vai falar disso no pós-entrevista. Antes de mais nada, agradecer a KTO. KTO, que é o site com as melhores odds esportivas, nossa parceira desde o começo do canal e que aposta no nosso programa de entrevistas, o Tô Conversando, assim como em toda a nossa grade de programação aqui, ajuda demais o nosso canal a crescer e fazer cada vez mais conteúdo, além, é claro, dos nossos apoiadores, que eu também quero agradecer. Você que não apoia-se com a partir de R$10 por mês, ajuda a gente a ter esse estúdio, ajuda a gente a fazer cada vez mais conteúdo para você. Então, fique agora com o Nick Anderson.
É isso, gente. Espero que vocês curtam. Daqui a pouquinho a gente volta para comentar essa entrevista. Vai lá. Nick, you were the first player drafted by the Magic in 89, and 36 years later, you're here still as a Magic ambassador. how's that for you? Could you envision something like that? And how's that representing the Magic here in Brazil?
Well, that's something that surely don't happen with a lot of teams. Player being drafted and being in the organization for such a long time, but it's a blessing. I would say that first. It shows a commitment from the organization that they had in myself and me being committed to being in an organization. It's a great feeling. Like, as you mentioned, being there from day one, being the very first draft pick in Orlando Magic's history. I got a chance to play the very first basketball game played in Central Florida. Seeing players come and go, play with some great talent, so it's definitely an honor.
What changed from day one, because it's definitely day one from the franchise, to this day?
Well, as you mentioned, being drafted back in '89, I watched the the team grow, coming from the locker rooms, the small venues that we had back then, the locker room with 4 showers, to what it's become today. It's great. Watch the city grow. Watch the players grow. Watch the organization grow. Watch the fans grow. So it was great being a part of that.
You were a three-point shooter back in the days when the three-point wasn't, well, it wasn't like today, right? And you had a high volume and a high percentage as well. How do you feel the game's changed with a three-point, and how would you fit in today's NBA?
Well, the game has evolved. As you mentioned, the three-point shot is utilized more than back in the 80s and 90s. Our percentage of shooting threes was very low. You can look at some of the games and the box scores after the game. The teams combined maybe shot 15, 20 three-pointers. Now, that's not the case. You can get up 95 to 100 between the two teams. But, again, it's something that is utilized today. They count on the three-point shot. You got the big man who's out on the perimeter shooting the threes, and that wasn't the case. You didn't see Patrick Ewing, Shaquille, Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson back in my day hoisting up a lot of threes. It might be in a desperation, shot clock running out. You just put up one in desperation to win a game. But it's utilized. And, again, we mentioned that the game has evolved. And that's what the big men do. That's what the guards do. They put up threes as part of the arsenal. And I sit there and watch it every day. But it's something that I had to get used to be honest. Yeah. I had to get used to it.
You think you would shoot like 10 threes a game today?
Yeah, because it's allowed. That's what the coaching staff want you to do. Put up threes. The way I think is, I don't mind guys taking a three as long as it's a good three. You know, you're wide open, ball movement, dribble penetration, defense collapsing, you kick it out, and you shoot a three. That's my envision of it. I'm not the guy that I don't want to see you come down on a 3-on-1 fast break and jack up a three when you can get a easy layup. But that's the way the game is played today, and they want them to put up threes, and boy, do they put them up.
They definitely do. Nick, I don't know if a lot of people in Brazil know that, but you are directly responsible for Michael Jordan changing his jersey. Could you tell us the story?
Well, playoff game, I remember it just like it was yesterday. Me stealing the ball, and the question was asked, is 45 like 23? And I said, no, he's not. My answer was because 45 only played a half a season. 23 played the entire season. That's the case I was trying to make, the context that I was trying to put it in. But they reversed that. it was said that, oh, Nick Anderson said 45 is not like 23. And they gave MJ a little fuel. It was said. I had to live with it. And I still stand by it to this day.
And what was your reaction when you saw that what you said made him change the jersey? Like, you get in the court and you're like, there's 23.
Did I have some type of impact on them doing it? I would say, yes, I did. Him being a competitor and a guy that liked to compete at the high level all the time, not sometime. And he was sending a message, I have to show you that 45 is not like 23. 23 is the man. And the second game, he came out with 23, and I knew it was going to be problems from then on. Because, again, him being who he is and how he plays the game, how he approaches the game, my work was going to be cut out even more.
But no, just one last thing about this. But you outclutched him in Game 6. It was the only time Michael Jordan lost a playoff series from the day he was a champion to his last day. It's crazy.
I can say I'm part of history.
I'm a Magic fan. It's like my biggest title is this. I say, no, but no one beat Michael Jordan.
Yeah, no. Again, I must say that, in my opinion, some may beg to differ. And I can't speak for the guys that I never played against, all those perennial all-stars, those legends. And when I speak of the Jerry West, the Oscar Roberts, I don't know about playing against those guys. I only know about the guys that I played against. In my opinion, again, I say that people might beg to differ. In my opinion, Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player that I ever played against. Respectfully said, with all the guys that I played against. I don't think you could say there might be some comparisons. He has moves like Michael Jordan. He does this like Michael Jordan, but that mold was made and it's broken, and I don't think it'll never be made again.
Sure, and I had no idea that it was the media that spinned what you said. I didn't know they posed the question like that. So you just answer like, yeah, sure. It's and he took it personally. But
that's the kind of guy he is. He takes things personal, and I don't. I would like for every player, I don't care what sport you playing, take it personal. But he keeps it in what we say on the floor. Yeah. He comes out and lets you know that I'm the best. I compete at the highest level, and I don't mind showing it. That's the way you present it.
Sure, and you end up victorious that time. And next year, the myth is that Jordan went to the gym, came back bulkier, and then he destroyed the Orlando Magic, etc. There's also reinforcements like Dennis Rodman, because Horace Grant had a great series without the interior defense. But you're the one responsible many times to defend Jordan. So how do you feel the impact of him having a full season? As you said, 45, only played half a season. So was it really that much harder to guard Jordan the next year on the next playoff series you met? Or do you think it was mostly the team impact of a better Chicago Bulls team?
Well, it was a lot of things that you can point the finger at. He was more motivated. Again, 45 had a half a season. 23 the following season had training camp. He had a full season. They added reinforcement in Dennis Rodman. There was a lot of motivation behind that. We were still a young team. This was a veteran team, a team that eclipsed every thing that was out there. So there surely was a lot of motivation, and they came out, and eventually they swept us when we played them. But again, he was prepared. Not to say that he wasn't prepared the year prior to that because of him coming in at a half season. That's just MJ. He competes at a high level. He takes things personal, which I think every player should on the floor. It's a game. I'm going to take it personal. Yeah, you keep it on the floor and it's personal, and that's it. There's nothing outside the lines that's personal. This game is personal. Every game should be personal, and I respect that. Again, I have so much respect for him. He's a good friend of mine. Just the way he approaches things, his mindset. You know, he has that win mentality. Not sometimes, all the time. I don't care if you playing in exhibition games. If you playing golf against him, or that's just his mentality. He wants to beat you, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Nick, even Horace said that he joined Orlando because he saw a dynasty coming.
Yeah.
And the talent was unbelievable. It was a team ahead of its time with shooting, with like Shaq's presence in the middle, Penny, a huge guard, you and Dennis in the wings. Whoa. The thing I want to ask you is, then Shaq left and nobody saw that coming. How did you receive those news, and what was your reaction at the time?
I can say honestly, I can honestly say that I'm still heartbroken.
Yeah.
In a sense that, what if we would have stayed together, that team? Myself, Penny, Shaq, Horace, Dennis Scott, Brian Shaw, the host of talent that we had. I always think about that. I honestly used to think that if that team would have stayed together, I would have been pointing at a couple of rings on my finger. But, I never fought someone for doing what they think is best for them. I would never hold a grudge against somebody like that for that reason. He felt that it was time for him to leave and go somewhere else. So be it. He's still my friend. I still love him unconditionally. I wouldn't say that I don't, but I do think about it. What if? Penny Hardaway was one of the most talented guards in the league. A lot of young men and women that didn't know Penny Hardaway. He was very special. You had the addition of Horace Grant, who had won championship in Chicago. You had the addition of Brian Shaw, who was a veteran, who played with the likes of Larry Bird and Kevin McHale early in his career in Boston. Myself being a young guy, Dennis Scott, all that was put together, and we were forming something. We had the city behind us. The organization was phenomenal. So there's a lot that I truly miss about those days, and I wish that we could have kept all that together. And you never know. Like I said, I probably to this day I would have been counting 3 or 4 rings on my fingers. But I can't say this. I enjoyed the time that I played with Shaq, Penny, Horace, Dennis, Brian Shaw, and the rest of the crew, the organization. Our fans was unbelievable at that time in Orlando. I mean, the city was on fire.
Shaq usually has said, even when they had the ceremony for him, that he kind of regrets this decision. As a friend of him, do you think he feels that way?
I really honestly do. And I heard him say it before that day he announced that. And, again, being a young guy, people must understand that Shaq was very young. Decisions are hard for young people at the time. And, you got some pulling you this way, some pulling you that way, and then you got your own thoughts. It had to be hard somewhere during that time. It had to be hard. But I can honestly remember this. I was sitting on my couch, and when the announcement came that he was going to the Lakers, I fell off the couch. And my dad, right after that happened, my dad gave me a phone call. He said, your championships then went to the Lakers. I never forget it. I remember like it was yesterday. But with all that being said, I'm still cool with the big fella. I still respect the big fella. I respect what he's done, what he's doing, and the things that, he's a guy that plans ahead. So I know he got big things ahead. Penny Hardaway is doing his thing down at the Memphis University where he played his college ball. Dennis Scott is working the sidelines with the NBA, TNT, and different other outlets. Brian Shaw is a assistant coach with the Clippers. So we are still in the game.
Well, this decision, I regret a lot as a Magic fan, and he, as a Lakers fan, he fell in love because of that.
Yeah. I was almost a Magic fan. I had a background of being a Laker fan, and when Shaq, because I love Shaq in Orlando, and when he went to the Lakers, I said, okay, I'm going back to the Lakers. And Shaq is one of the most iconic, idiosyncratic players ever, and a crazy one as well. And he must have 1,000 stories. Can you share a crazy Shaq story with us?
Well, the big fella, he's one of a kind. You talking about a generous guy?
Big heart.
Big heart. I can remember those times. I can say we went to Milwaukee. We landed in Milwaukee. We go to the hotel, and we get on the elevator, and it was a young guy. He had the cart. He was taking some food to another room, and Shaq told him, "If you bring me 3 cheeseburgers in the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna give you $500. The guy left the cart on the elevator and went to get the cheeseburgers. That's the type of guy he was. Someone needed something, you needed bill paid. He's that guy. He didn't do it. He doesn't do things for notoriety. That's just who he is. He lends a helping hand. As there's been circulating on social media that he went in the furniture store and there was a family in there buying furniture, and he bought the whole family furniture. So that's the things that he do. I don't expect anything less from him. That is Shaquille O'Neal. That's who he is. That's who he has been, and I don't think it'll never change.
And there's a thing that's always been in my mind. How would Shaq play nowadays? Because he was like a brute, a huge force, but he wasn't that guy that go to the perimeter and think. Do you think he would like beat down everybody, or would have some difficulties?
No, here's the question, and I'll tell you, and I'll tell a lot of the young men and women out here that's playing the game of basketball. The game is won inside. You start on the inside and work yourself your way out. Him on the post, who's going to stop him? Name me one player in the league today, if Shaquille O'Neal was the Shaquille O'Neal in Orlando, in LA. Who's going to stop him? I want to know that one player that can guard him in that post.
Certainly not Jackson Hayes. So
he was a dominant force. Think about the guys that he played against. The Hakeem Olajuwons, the Patrick Ewings, the Rick Smiths, the David Robinson, and it was a host of other big guys that were pretty good.
Mutombo.
Yeah, Mutombo, who Shaq had to go against. And I'm not knocking any of the guys today or how they defend, but Shaq was a force. He was a brutal guy in the middle. I once heard Kareem Abdul-Jabbar say that he is a unmovable object, and that's what he was. And a guy that can run the floor, rebound, block shots. There's many times me being on the floor with him when we get a fast break, and he outruns me. That's who the Shaquille O'Neal that I played with. He was just dominant.
Do you think this current Orlando core of Franz, Wagner, Paulo Banchero, and Jalen Suggs got what it takes to take the Magic to the promised land and win a title. How do you feel about the current state of the franchise and what will it take to get there now?
Well, I look at this year. We got off to a great start, and then we had two big injuries hit us in Banchero and then Wagner. And that's any coach's nightmare.
Later Suggs.
Yeah. That's any. You didn't have your top forces there. You know, a coach's nightmare is when he don't have all his players together. You can put in your schemes, offense and defense, and everybody gets that camaraderie on the floor and away from the floor. That's a coach's nightmare. I always envision, again, I mentioned this earlier, what if? What if we would stay healthy? Our guys got hurt early, and that was a jump start for other teams. Not to say the other teams don't have talent. Look at Boston, they're very talented. Milwaukee has Giannis. He's a force in himself. He carries everybody else. Detroit is an up-and-coming young team. You know, I can go on and on. It happened. It was so unfortunate for us. But I say this. We're still putting together the pieces. Our time is coming sooner than people may think. But the one thing I want us to do, if we stay healthy, the name of the Orlando Magic, you say Orlando Magic / will give you problems.
I've been saying that for a few years. Just those people at home know that.
Yeah, it's a really hard team to play against, and he's been saying this because.
Yes. You know, you tweak here and there, whatever changes that they might have in the back of their head, and I know they're going to be good changes, but this team led by Banchero and Franz Wagner is going to be a force to reckon with. And me as a veteran player, I would like to say to every young player out there, there's a role and a fit for you. You don't have to be the guy, the Steph Curry, the LeBron James, all the guys that's putting up the big numbers every night. You go out and play good, solid defenses. That's what the coaches want from you. You play good, solid defense. You rebound. That's why it's called a team. You put all that together, and that's what makes a team, and you go step by step. You have to crawl before you can walk. Everybody don't come in the gym and say, I'm good today. No, you're not. It's a process. I hear this word all the time. It's a process. If you buy in to the process, everything will be good.
Mary, one last one. Nick, we have a really young audience, and I'd like to ask you, a player from your days that most people don't give the proper recognition or they aren't talked about as much, but that was actually a problem.
Wow. There's many of them. Woo, boy, you making me think there. I'm going to say this, and he gets a bad rap. You know, some of the things he did on and off the court. But on that court, he was a problem. And he had the right nickname, Mad Max Vernon Maxwell. He was a problem on both ends of the floor. I have to give credit when it's due. But there's many other players that I can mention, but that's one that comes to mind. The dude was a problem.
Nick, I can thank you enough for taking this time to speak with us. Even with the sound around, the whole craziness, it started pouring rain, but it was a real pleasure as a journalist and as a Magic fan, so thank you very much.
Well, you know what's good about this? To know that I got friends on the other side of the world. I appreciate this time. Yeah, I enjoyed it, and hopefully we can continue this on down the road.
We are hoping to go to Orlando, right?
Yeah, sure. Soon we'll be there.
Nick, thank you very much.
All right. Yep.
The best.
Yes, sir. All right. Peace, Brazil.
E aí? O que vocês acharam? Gostou?
Grande Nick
Gostou?
Anderson.
Peru,
Curti demais, hein?
nossa, foi muito legal. Ó, modéstia à parte, foi bem, hein?
Foi bem.
Foi bem.
O que eu gostei é... Galera, a gente tinha 15 minutos. Vocês viram aí, foi uns 25. Ele topou estender... E na hora que tava a produção do Orlando Magic falando, acabou o horário, chega. Ele também pediu one more.
Não, vai.
Não foi só nós dois que
Ele falou,
falamos.
segue o jogo.
Não, vai, one more. E o cara, e depois que acabamos de gravar ali e tal, foi muito gente boa com a gente, muito sangue bom mesmo.
Dizer também pra galera que a gente gravou essa, você viu, num esquema meio guerrilha. A gente tava no meio da NBA House, com um mic só, gravamos no iPhone, uma hora o som aumentou, virou uma balada.
Putz, porque a gente chegou antes de começar o evento, mas era assim, logo antes, então, no meio que a gente tava gravando, o evento de fato começa, aí o DJ pôs o som explodindo, né? Aí até uma galera da produção da NBA House foi lá pedir pra diminuir porque a gente tava gravando.
Não, e foi engraçado, porque nessa hora, eu não olhei o que tava rolando em volta, porque eu tava olhando só pro Nick Anderson.
Eu tava mais olhando em volta,
E eu tinha feito a pergunta, e no momento que ele tá falando do cheque ainda e tal... E do nada parou, eu não vi essa mobilização toda da galera correndo e para aí, DJ, corta esse som aí que os caras estão gravando.
Eu percebi que eu assistindo a nossa entrevista, que eu tava bem de olho, isso aqui é foda, né? Porque ao mesmo tempo você tem que estar ouvindo o que ele tá falando pra interagir e tal. E tinha muita coisa acontecendo, era a gente passando na frente algumas vezes. Aí começou um dilúvio, tem uma hora mais pro fim que dá pra ouvir o som da chuva. Caiu uma chuva surreal ali naquela hora. A galera tava com medo de molhar-se ali e tal, mas deu tudo certo. Acho
Foi
que
muito legal. E, Firu, particularmente, cara, foi um prazer muito grande, porque
Cara, foi mesmo.
ter a chance de falar com o cara que jogou com o Jordan, com o cara que foi companheiro de time do Shaq, o cara que ele manda um zap pro Shaq se ele quiser, e o Shaq responde. Não é que se a gente conseguir o número e mandar, ele vai falar, quem são esses caras? Então, é muito louco ter a chance de poder falar com esses caras. Então, e ainda mais... Torcedor do Orlando Magic, né? Que eu já acompanhava o Nick Anderson lá atrás. Eu acho que eu tinha card do Nick Anderson. Então, eu tinha a fita da NBA. Putz, eu devia ter trazido. Mostrei pra ele também, que foi uma fita que eu...
E ele é uma figura legal, né, cara? Porque é um cara que jogava já um basquete moderno, que, como a gente falou na entrevista, hoje em dia seria animal pra ele jogar na NBA de hoje em dia, com o tamanho dele, o skill set dele. Ele seria esse ala 3&D.
Acho que até mais, cara. Ele tinha um playmate.
Tinha.
Vai lembrar que no jogo... A gente fala na entrevista, né? No jogo 1 dos playoffs de 95, que é o roubo aquele roubo histórico do Nick Anderson, que ele bate a carteira do Jordan.
Na reta final do jogo.
Ganha o jogo 1. Aí logo depois desse jogo 1, é a história que ele conta, né? Da mudança do 45 pro 23.
Eu adorei essa parte da entrevista.
Muito bom,
porque
muito.
Eu nunca soube que, na real, tinha sido uma pergunta...
Lógico, eu já até fiz. Eu tinha feito no Bandeja vídeo sobre...
Parecia que ele tinha mantido um trash talk, né?
Isso.
Tudo que você pesquisa aí nas redes, você vai ver essa história sendo contada como se o Nick Anderson tivesse metido um trash talk. Ele acabou nessa entrevista de desmentir isso. Falou que não, ele só respondeu uma pergunta.
Mas ao mesmo tempo ele tá ok também.
Ele falou, foi legal o resultado disso
até
tudo.
Porque, porque contando a história, aí o Nick rola essa parada do 45 pro 23, e no jogo 2 o Jordan volta de 23 e o Magic e o Bulls ganha. O Bulls ganha do Orlando e fica aquele No fim das contas, o Magic ganha em 6 jogos, e no jogo 6, o Nick Anderson outclutch o Jordan.
Você fala isso na entrevista, ele não...
Ele foi humilde.
Foi humilde, mas ele ao mesmo tempo curtiu. Falou, eu fiz história, então.
Então, não...
Mas fala aí, você que conhece bem... Por que ele foi outclutch?
Não, ele fez as cestas decisivas no jogo no jogo que
ele que fecha o jogo.
Ele que mete as bolas mais importantes. E é aquele jogo que também entra pra história, que o Orlando elimina o Chicago em Chicago, e o Horace Grant sai nos braços da torcida, dos jogadores, né? E a torcida puta, todo mundo puto, né? Aí o ano seguinte...
Horace Grant, óbvio, tricampeão pelo Bulls.
Fala de força, que foi pro Magic, porque ele viu a dinastia chegando... E aí a dinastia acabou quando o Shaq foi embora. Tudo aí o Nick Anderson contou. Então foi muito legal. Você tem uma parte favorita da entrevista?
Cara, acho que é essa parte mesmo.
A
Acho
história
que
do
foi a que eu
Jordan?
mais curti e tal.
Eu gostei do Shaq. Falar de Shaq é sempre legal.
É sempre legal. Ele parece amar o Shaquille O'Neal, né? Mas ele também, puta, uma reverência com o Jordan absurda, né?
A galera, mano...
Quem jogava nos anos 90, óbvio, não tem como. O Jordan absolutamente dominou a era dele, jogando basquete, que dominou o Jordan. Não tem como você não reverenciar o cara, né?
Mas, ao mesmo tempo, o da hora é que o Nick tem os seus...
Tem seus momentos
tem
contra ele, né?
tem o Nick e o Orlando, né? Tem sua pitadinha histórica ali contra o Jordan.
Ó, e depois ele ainda foi muito legal aqui, ó. Deu uma foto autografada.
Isso. O cara... Simpatia, Firu. Que cara gente fina. E o que foi legal, eu acho que... Eu senti na hora. Eu acho que assistindo a entrevista pareceu também, é que ele tava curtindo, cara. Que ele curtiu, então... Curtiu. Isso me deixa muito feliz aqui agora como entrevistador, né? Como entrevistadores. E aí foi uma experiência muito legal, cara. Foi uma experiência muito legal. E é da hora ver que, mano, um cara como o Nick Anderson, que poder... O cara também tá a fim de trocar ideia, de contar a história dele. Então...
E agora falando do seu atual Orlando, pós-troca Desmond Bane e tal, o que eu sinto ali naquela hora que ele fala é que ele entendia que a diretoria estava convicta que era a hora. Era a hora e que tinha planos ambiciosos para agora.
Isso ficou claro e o dominó caiu 2 semanas depois.
Foi logo depois a troca do Desmond Bane. Foi antes do draft, né, a troca,
foi
não foi?
Antes do draft, depois das finais.
Isso,
foi ali
então
naquela
foi ali.
meiuca ali.
Menos de 10 dias depois dessa entrevista, o Orlando foi lá, mete 4 firsts, pega o Desmond Bane.
Não, e é legal. E sabe o que eu achei da hora? Isso mostra como a organização tá
alinhada,
conectada.
Que ele é o quê? Ele é um porta-voz
do
embaixador.
Embaixador,
exato.
Como o Varejão, eu acho que ele é do Cavs, faz os eventos pelo mundo, vem aqui, ele representa o time ao redor do mundo e nos Estados Unidos e tal. Então, dá pra ver que eles estavam alinhados. Claro, não dá pra saber se ele sabia o que ia rolar, e provavelmente
mas
não.
Mas conversar lá dentro...
Isso, ele sacou que era o ano...
Era o ano.
Era o ano da virada de chave.
Que o Orlando não ia pegar o Bacon no...
Não, que não ia ser uma off-season. É isso, chegou a hora de...
Era a hora de ser agressivo na off-season.
E eu acho que se você começa a ligar os pontos, tem a entrevista do o Nick falando, já tendo essa percepção de dentro, uniforme novo... tem umas coisinhas que seja... Que é o
uniforme tinha... Quando a gente faz essa entrevista, o Orlando tinha acabado de fazer o rebranding com
a Marie me deu uma camiseta do Orlando com a nova identidade visual, a bolinha assim, eu achei que aquela ficou... Aquela que ela me deu de presente ficou linda. Eu me esqueci de trazer. Inclusive, é que eu uso muito essa, né? Então aí tá na rotação da máquina de lavar. Firu... Espero que você tenha gostado aí. Nos dê essa moral, deixe o like, agradecer de novo o Magic, agradecer a Samba, agradecer a KTO, que faz esse programa acontecer, e se você curte fazer sua braba, sempre com responsabilidade.
Tamo voando, hein, mesmo? Esse mês a gente vai pegar esse ranking, hein? Esse mês a gente vai pegar...
Que não é o mês que foi realizada a entrevista.
Não.
É o mês que está sendo publicado.
Agora, agosto...
É nosso.
Vai ter Toco TV no ranking.
Tudo nosso.
No ranking ali.
Tudo nosso. Valeu KTO, valeu Mutombos, valeu Magic e valeu principalmente Nick Anderson. Peço a você, além do like, nos dá uma moral se você gostou dos entrevistadores aqui. Vamos lá.
Sim,
manda um salve pra gente e diz qual foi a parte da entrevista que você mais curtiu. Certo? A gente se vê. O Tô Conversando, ele acontece, então se inscreva na Toco TV, fique ligado na programação, redes sociais. Em breve a gente volta com mais uma entrevista maneira como essa.
Show de bola. Valeu demais, galera. Valeu todos os apoiadores. Valeu KTO. Valeu Marie. Valeu Michael. Valeu demais Nick Anderson. Muito obrigado e até a próxima. Firmeza total, família!